Tobey, congratulations. You did an outstanding job.
Thank you.
And I mean, classic book, a movie that we all fell in love with, and well, I did in 1974. Really, the pressure to play a character like Nick Carraway, I can't even imagine what you were thinking when you were offered the role.
I was thrilled. It's certainly, one of the great iconic American novels. It's funny. I don't really consider that and get fearful or intimidated. I read through the book and I'm looking at the language and the characters, and I get excited because it's fantastic material. And I lived with it for quite a while and got the opportunity to read many sections of this book and explore and kind of experiment with the voiceover, for instance, and reading straight from the book and then sometimes paraphrasing it and trying to figure out ways to utilize this and have it connect to an audience, but still be using that material. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's been written that it's the closest character to F. Scott Fitzgerald, ever.
Right.
Now, really, do you have to go back and kind of read about him more, or do you just kind of leave that alone and create your own character there?
A little bit of all of that. We did look at some stuff around Fitzgerald's life and some of his other writing. We created this framing device for Nick that some time has passed and he's looking back and processing his feelings and thoughts and experiences of what happened over this summer, which there are clues to that in the book. He says, looking back over what I've written so far, for instance, and there are aspects of other things that Fitzgerald has written that kind of influence that framing device.
Yeah, really, it's just amazing material to work with altogether,
yes,
for sure.
It is, yeah.
Okay, working with somebody like Baz Luhrmann, my God, going into that man's mind and helping him create this vision. I mean, what was it like to work with this genius?
He is amazing to work with. He's a great leader. In that he kind of sets sail in a particular direction, but he's really open to exploring and finding it along the way. And I had such a good time with him and Leo, and everyone else, Catherine Martin, the rest of the cast. I really feel like Baz, who appreciates this storytelling, and F. Scott Fitzgerald, and both him and Leo are both and everyone, Catherine, again, love digging into the truth of it and the reality of that time, and yet want to use the medium to innovate, to do something and push forward into the future and create something new, which I really think that Baz has done here. I think he's created a unique experience for a moviegoer. I think that for me, I've got 2 kids. I don't get to the movies as often. I love movies. I love going to the movies, but I just do it less often. And it's something like this that draws me there, because you go, okay, there's a reason I have to see this in the theater.
Absolutely, you're so right. Leonardo, I don't even know what to say about him in this role. The guy's amazing and everything.
Yes, he is.
I remember watching The Great Gatsby, the first one, and thinking, this is when I think I fell in love with Robert Redford. This is going to be the same for Leo. I mean, he's just like matinee idol in this movie.
He is.
What was it like to work one-on-one with him? The two of you had such wonderful scenes together.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was great. And, we've been friends for a long time, so we have a lot of trust for each other, and we were kind of in it together from the beginning. I love watching him dig through and wanting to find the different layers to Gatsby. And there's obviously this sort of engaging, charming side of Gatsby, but to watch him find all the different nuances, and it was really something. His process is works very thoroughly, really in depth, just poring over the material. He'd come in, he's excited, he loves it. He's like a history buff or something, knocking on my door, going, Tobey, look what I found. Let's read this and compare it to that. And it was great. It was like Leonardo DiCaprio was my researcher.
Well, that's good. So, hey, listen, I'd work with him too. Very quickly, I have to ask you, famous line, the past cannot be repeated.
Yeah.
How does that line affect your career choices?
Well, you mean going into the future?
Whatever.
You cannot repeat the past. I don't know. I'm not really looking into the past. I'm looking into kind of launching this film off and then moving into the future. And I'm certainly pretty thoughtful about what I choose to do. I want to do things because they resonate with me, because I care about them, because I'm a storyteller and I feel like I have to be a part of telling that story. And I feel like that with this film.
Well, you are extraordinary in everything you do, and I want to thank you so much for this. You're fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Always great talking to you.